What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. And to be honest, man, I ain't really got too many topics to talk about right now. And it's been a while since I did like a list type episode. So I wanted to do an episode kind of for the physical media collectors, as you guys can see in the title. Today, I'm going to give my top 5 tips into physical media collecting, more for the beginners and stuff like that. And the reason I'm doing this episode is, well, for one, like I said, it's been a while since I did a list episode. And also, it's been like a year now since I really started collecting physical media. Like, I've had some of my Blu-rays since I was a kid and stuff like that. But like last year was when I really was like, okay, I'm gonna start physically collecting media. And you never know. Maybe there's somebody out there that's starting out just like I did last year, and I want to give my top 5 tips to them. So, if you guys are here for like my other type of content or other type of episodes, sorry, you'll probably have to wait till next week for me to like address something music or film related. But like for this episode, I just strictly want to talk to the new physical media collectors, like people that's getting into it. And I'm not gonna give like a whole like major list of things. Like I said, these are just 5 things that personally I believe, are some of the best tips. I mean, some of these tips help me a lot, and some of them are personal like tips, but then also some of them are like something more factual in my opinion. But yeah, pretty much if you're new to physically collecting media, basically I'm gonna give you my 5 tips. And with all that being said, let's get into it. The first one, and I have to stress this because, it's very tempting. It is very tempting when you first get into the space. It is very tempting to see all these other like physical media creators and see like their big rooms full of Blu-rays and 4Ks and stuff like that, and they have pretty much almost any movie that was ever released. It is very tempting. But my first tip is to cater your collection to you. That is something that I've always done, no matter, like, it doesn't matter to me, like, no matter what movie it is, unless I've seen it. And okay, there's like 2 exceptions in my collection, but those are 2 exceptions out of like, I think I have 150 films or something like that. In my whole collection, I only have 2 that I haven't fully watched yet. And no, I'm only saying fully watched because I have seen some of the movie already. So, yeah. But my main point is cater your collection to you. It is very tempting to get any and every movie. It is tempting to get classics. It is tempting to do all that. But at the end of the day, your collection is basically a reflection of you, the movies that you love, your style. So who cares about what other, creators or other people in the field is getting? If you personally don't love that movie, don't buy it. If you personally like love a specific TV show and other people may not like it, go ahead and buy it. Because at the end of the day, your collection is about you. So that's one thing I do want to encourage. Like, get the stuff that you specifically want. And that's something that I've always done since day one. Like, my rule is, besides those 2 exceptions, my rule has always been I need to watch that movie first before I even buy it. Like, I cannot buy a movie and not watch it, because if I wind up buying it and then I watch it, I'll be very disappointed. And I know you can always resell, like reselling is always an option, but to be honest, for me, that just feels very like extra. I don't feel like doing all that extra work afterwards if I didn't like the movie. So I just rather watch it any other way. Like if it's on a streaming service, if there's other means of me being able to watch it and then I'll go out and support it, that's what I'll do. For me, one thing I always do is, I do my mystery movie Mondays. I go to like $5 Tuesdays. Like I always find ways to see movies and stuff like that. So if I like the movie enough, I put it down on my wish list and then, I keep it moving. So that's basically my tip to y'all. That's my first tip to y'all. Cater your collection to you. Like I said, it's very tempting, but you got to stick to you. You got to be true to yourself when it comes to your collection. My second tip is look around before you order. And what I mean by that is, so there will be movies. where and it might not even be a rare Blu-ray or DVD, but for example, for me, I have Ready or Not by Radio Silence, and I have The Get Down, the Netflix series, on DVD. Like I have both of them on Blu-ray and DVD, and those are very rare items because for Ready or Not, I've seen that pretty much the movie is out of print. So because it's out of print, if somebody does decide to sell it, either they'll resell it for like a high ass price, or it'll be like an import of Ready or Not, and then it will sell out quickly, and that will kind of like tempt people to like, all right, I gotta order the movie soon as I see it. And the first price you might see might be a crazy price, and it's like, do you really want to break your bank for that? Same with the Get Down. The Get Down never officially had a physical release, and the version that I have of it is a for your consideration version, basically like versions that are sent out to the press. And that's basically the only means of getting the Get Down on physical media. And because that's the only means, people will resell it for a high behind price. And in both those cases, there were times where I almost caved in, and I was like, look, it seems like this is the best option that I'm gonna get. But then something in me tells me before I press place order, something always tells me look around. Don't just place order right there. Look around and see if anybody is selling them for cheaper. And that's exactly what happened with both those movies. But like I said, it doesn't even have to be rare movies. There's been plenty of movies in my collection where, like I said, I mostly use Amazon and Walmart. But before I press purchase on one of those sites, I do look around to like websites like Groove, Deep Discount. Sometimes me and my cousin, we like to go to like different old video games and movie shops in the area, and like sometimes I'll find that movie that I really wanted, or that TV show series or season that I really want, and it'll be for a cheaper price than it was offered online. Like my Family Guy season 1 and 2 DVD, I think that the price was higher at Walmart, but then when me and my cousin went to like one of those used DVD shops, I wound up buying the whole first two seasons of Family Guy for like $5. So that's what I mean when I say look around before you order. Well, this is more of an online context, but like look around before you order. Don't just jump the gun at any price that you see. Even if it seems like it's a good price, look around and see if that's really the best price that you're going to be able to pay for, because sometimes you can just look around and you'll find something cheaper. Um and my third tip kind of adds on to what I already said with tip number two. Tip number three is find local shops. And basically, I already used the example with me and my cousin. We like to go to a lot of like old video game and movie stores. So, like, I'll find some physical media that way. Um, I know technically Walmart and Big Lots and like stores like that still sells physical media. I know those aren't like local shops, but like, go Blu-ray hunting, go DVD hunting. Like look around at different places where you live and see if there's like stores catered to that. One thing about me, and I've said it before, I live in South Jersey, basically like in an East Bumblefuck part of South Jersey. So like, I'm seeing, and I'm into like the physical media space on like social media and stuff like that. And I remember when I got onto the physical media side of TikTok, a lot of people were showing like videos of like the different stores in New York that they can go to. Like some people were showing like different stores in California and like other like big major cities that would offer stuff like that. People was finding like local stores that have stuff like that. But for me, there's probably only like one or two around me unless I want to really travel somewhere. There's only like one or two. So I know I'm saying find local shops, but basically just find anywhere around you that sells physical media. Even though I don't have too many local shops, I still have Walmart. I still have Big Lots. I still have in the mall, where I live at, they have a FYE, and FYE, has a big DVD and Blu-ray and CD collection. So all I'm saying is don't just only look online, look around at different stores, and you might actually be able to find a good deal, on something that you've been looking for. Um, the fourth tip that I have is follow physical media pages online. For me, this is the best place for me to find out about like sales, what movies are expected to get a physical media release. Like I said, I be seeing a lot of newer movies in theaters. So I'll wish list it on Walmart, but like, I'll never really know when the movie is going to come out. But following like a bunch of physical media pages on Instagram and Twitter definitely keeps me up to date. Like, one movie that I recently seen through Mystery Movie was Novocaine, and pretty much just literally before I started filming, they announced that Novocaine is supposed to come out. They already got pictures of what the steel book is supposed to look like. Like, basically before you would even think about like, oh, when is this movie coming out? They already got the scoop on it and they're already willing to let you know. Even earlier today, now I do follow Criterion, but I don't be knowing when the sales are going on until Criterion makes a post. But these pages on Instagram already lets me know way in advance when a sale is going to happen. So I encourage you, if you guys are like trying to find sales, trying to figure out what movies, like newer films, are going to make it to physical media or not, definitely follow like the physical media pages on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. I'll link some of them down below in this episode so that you guys can check them out. But yeah, follow the physical media pages. Um, and follow some of your physical media creators. Like, I know there's a few creators that I follow, not really on social media, but I do follow them on YouTube. Jeff Rosso, I think that's how you say his last name, Movies and Sue. Like, there's a lot of creators out there that stays up to date with this type of stuff and that has connections to people that work in the physical media space at studios. So follow those people, watch their videos, follow their socials, like get their opinions on stuff. Like, that's a really big thing. So basically this tip could also be said as, get acquainted with the community, I guess you should say. Get acquainted with the community. And I don't mean like you got to be buddy friends, like you got to talk to them, but basically like just follow them and see the news that they talking about. So get acquainted with the community real quick. And then the last one, and I encourage people of this a lot because I definitely went through it. And number 5 is do not break your bank. Don't break your bank. The reason I say this, now I never broke my bank for physical media, but years ago, I was definitely a shopaholic. I was a big shopaholic. You know how like people be talking about like retail therapy, like buying stuff just makes your mood feel better and stuff like that. I used to be like that with clothes. Like, now I've definitely gotten way better. I only done one clothes purchase all year and I don't plan on doing any more for the rest of the year. Like, the only things I really buy is movies. But even with movies, I set myself a limit so that I don't, spend too much money. But at the end of the day, the point is do not break your bank. This kind of associates with the first one when I say like it is very tempting to get the newest movies. It's tempting to get the steel books, like the special collector's editions and stuff like that. And that's when you really need to think about, one, you need to think about your finances. Do I have the money this month to even buy this movie? Do I have the time? Like, do I have the means to buy the movie right now? Which, that, I mean, I guess this is like a bonus tip. Sometimes if you wait a little bit, the movie is going to go down in price. I've seen movies from last year that I obviously really wanted to buy right then and there that came out at $30 last year. Like, movies that I loved came out on Blu-ray and DVD for like $30 out the gate last year as soon as it hits physical media release. But now I'm looking at those same movies and now they're priced at like $10 to $15, damn near half the price just waiting a few months out. So that's what I mean when I say, don't break your bank. Don't just rush to everything. I mean, it's more up to y'all. If you guys got the means to do it, then go ahead and do it. I know there's actually some limited edition like versions of movies to where like if you don't buy it, then literally you're never gonna get a chance to buy it unless you like buy off a reseller. But sometimes in my experience, and I don't know how it is with other collectors, in my experience, sometimes those limited editions ain't really that limited. Like, for example, the limited edition steel books of the Studio Ghibli movies. When I first started collecting, I bought like 3 or 4. I know I bought Ponyo, um, Kiki's Delivery Service, Princess Mononoke, and I think there's another one that I bought. But I bought those out the gate because like it said they were limited edition, like, Studio Ghibli steelbooks. So I'm like, okay, if it's limited edition, I gotta get them now. I gotta get them now. And they didn't break my bank. But all I'm saying is it didn't break my bank, but now even when I still go through like physical media like pages on Walmart and Amazon, I still see them up for sale. So what's the limited edition tag for? Because they're still up for sale a year later. So that's what I mean. Like sometimes even though something says limited edition, bro, you can wait. Like right now, I literally had Smile 2's limited edition steelbook literally in my wish list since the movie came out. And guess what? It's sold out. it sold out it sold out before, but now it got restocked again. So it's like it's limited edition, but yet I think Smile 2 came out in November. It's still available for me to get if I really want to right now. So that's what I mean. Like, you don't have to rush to anything, you don't have to break the bank. Like, these movies are going to be here to stay. And overall physical media, I know a lot of people be like reading articles and getting worried about, oh, physical media is dying and stuff like that. At the end of the day, man, physical media is here to stay. I see a lot more people really getting into this, and I be posting a lot about it on my social media, so you never know, like maybe I'm encouraging somebody to get into the physical media space. But like, this is a space where pretty much like more people is getting into it, and it may seem like you guys got to jump the gun, it may seem like you got to break the bank, like all these things that I said, it may seem like you have to do that, but at the end of the day, you'll be straight, man. So yeah, pretty much that's all my 5 tips right there. Cater to your collection, look around before you order, find local shops, follow physical media pages, and don't break the bank. I will leave those 5 tips in the description. I will also leave links to the physical media pages that I be following. And yeah, I know this is a very different episode of the podcast than what I usually do, but I'm hoping that like new physical media creators, or not creators, but like collectors follow, or not follow. I mean, they can follow me if they want to, but I hope they find this video and they, take what I say, seriously. Which I know some of this stuff is like, common sense stuff, but like you'll be surprised how many like people wouldn't know this. So it's just like I do want to put this out there for people that are just getting into it. But yeah, man, like I always say, thank you guys for the support. Shout out to all the new subs out there. I always encourage y'all, look at all my content, not all of it, but like look at my different type of content before you press subscribe, because I want y'all to really rock with me just like how I want to rock with y'all. And yeah, man, next week, like I said, expect a music related episode. I already got like ideas for next week's episode, which I probably should have addressed that topic this week, but honestly I wanted this one to be for the physical media community. So yeah, with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.